Hi, friends, and welcome back to the Wine CEO podcast channel. I am your host, Sarah, and certified sommelier, and I am so excited to be back from my 4-month sabbatical. It feels like I've been gone so much longer. And I took a quick sabbatical because after over 150 podcast episodes and 100,000 downloads and over 3 years of podcasting, I needed a little bit of a break. And let me tell you, it was such a wonderful time. If you think I was just relaxing on a beach somewhere, you are wrong. People always say that if you need to get something done, you should ask a busy person. And I think I just can't sit still. So in my 4 months off, I took on a major new project in my full-time job. I did a ton of traveling to visit family and friends. I started graduate school. I visited another wine region. It was truly such a wonderful 4 months, but I missed this channel. I missed interacting with all of you. I missed getting to create wine content and getting to answer all of your questions. So I am so excited to be back. So today I'm just going to tell you a little bit about what you can expect from the Wine CEO in the coming months. And then next episode, we will dive back into some amazing wine content. All right, so during my 4 months off, I had a really great opportunity to think a lot about how I structured the Wine CEO and how I could really show up for you all each and every day with the best wine content possible. And creating a new episode every single Wednesday is definitely a big commitment. And I think many of my episodes in the past were really long episodes. They were typically 45 minutes to an hour long. And what I'm realizing is that if I want to be able to achieve creating weekly great wine content for you all, I'm probably going to start doing episodes that are a little bit shorter in length. So you may find that my upcoming episodes are anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes, or if I'm doing an interview, it might be 20 to 30 minutes, but they're not necessarily going to be these hour-long episodes that they used to be. And some of you may be rejoicing because you probably had to break up some of my content into a few drives or, afternoon laundry sessions. But for those of you that are looking for longer content, you know what, you can rewatch my last 150 episodes, or you'll be able to skip a week and then batch listen to a couple of my episodes at one time. Another thing that I'm going to be changing up, and many of you might be sad about this, but I'm going to be stepping away from Monday Night Wine Trivia. This was a really fun thing that I did on my Instagram channel for the last 2.5 years. I loved doing Monday Night Wine Trivia, but doing that every single week, even though it's a really small thing and didn't take that much time to create, it really still was one extra thing each week that I had to make sure I stayed on top of. And I want to be able to focus a lot more time and energy into the podcast show. And so I'm going to be stepping away from Monday Night Wine Trivia, but I will still do pop quizzes on occasion from time to time so that those of you who loved the trivia will still be able to enjoy those. So keep following Instagram and keep an eye on my stories. And instead of every Monday night, they will just be on occasion in the coming months. Another thing that I'm going to be cutting back on are my virtual wine tastings, my consulting, and my online one-on-one coaching. This is really something that is hard for me because I've enjoyed this aspect of my business so much over the last 3 years. But I really think that moving forward, for me to be able to create the best wine content for the podcast channel, I want to make that my main focus. And I've loved each and every one of the students that I've had over the last few years. And if you are looking for one-on-one coaching services, or consulting and virtual wine tastings, let me know. I can definitely recommend some wonderful wine educators that are out there that are doing these services. But for me personally, as I have so many other things that are competing with my time, many of you know this is not my full-time gig, I am going to limit a lot of what I'm doing moving forward to my podcast and some unique new things around the podcast that I will be excited to share in the coming future. But I want to really focus on that instead of getting into some of the other services that I've been offering and really just focus completely on the podcast show. So those are some of the things that will be changing, but what can you expect here on the Wine CEO podcast channel? Still lots of awesome wine content, whether you are a beginner or an expert. I hope my channel is fun and approachable for you. I hope you find the content entertaining and enjoyable. I love wine, and so really a lot of my channel is sharing my passion with you, sharing my excitement with over 10 years in the hospitality industry, and now going on 6 years as a sommelier. I have a lot of great stories and passion for this industry, and especially for wine. I love food, I love travel. So if you are just now finding my channel, I hope you hit subscribe and you stay excited to be a part of the Wine CEO community. CEO stands for community and empowering others, and my goal has always been to empower you, my wine community, with amazing wine knowledge in a really fun and approachable way. So you'll continue to get great travel content, food and wine pairing topics, as well as awesome wine interviews with sommeliers, winemakers, and industry professionals, as well as tips and tricks from me, your personal sommelier, on awesome wine topics that are really trendy in the industry right now, as well as tried and true constant wine topics. So if you have questions or topics that you want to learn about in the coming months, feel free to drop them in the comments or send me a note on Instagram at The Wine CEO. I'm always here to answer your questions. I love being your personal sommelier, and I hope that you will hit subscribe if you haven't already, and join me, whether that be on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Amazon Music, to be a part of the Wine CEO family. You can also continue to follow along on Instagram at The Wine CEO and subscribe to my newsletter on thewineceo.com so that you can be ready for all the upcoming wine updates and content that I'll be creating. Thank you all so much for being a part of this amazing community. So excited to be back, and I will catch you all in the next episode of the Wine CEO podcast.